Can I start now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, just change the laser pointer. Okay, thank you so much for inviting me, and congratulations on getting this grant, Patrick. It's not very easy, and I wish you success with that. I just want to share, and thanks for inviting me. So I want to share a few facts about Acoustics Network. It has been going for 3 years now, and it is going to go for 4 more years, thanks to success with our next grant related to this network. My name is Kirill Horoshenkov, and I'm from the University of Sheffield. So let me just give you first background for the Acoustics Network. So we started in November 2017, and our first launch event, photographs of which you can see here, was in the Royal Society in London in November 2017. Originally, the official end date was today, but because of COVID, we got a no-cost extension until the end of March 2021. I'm a principal investigator on this grant, but I'm very lucky to be supported by Richard Craster from Imperial College, who has been great help to run this network. Also, we have a 40% FTE of a network manager, Charlotte Swain. The aim of network, very similar to your network, is basically to enhance communication between groups, provide a focus for collaboration and innovation, and to maximize the future impact of acoustics, in our case, based research in the UK. It's not a research grant, so we, like probably your grant, we couldn't give money away to do research, but the money was there to support anything which to do with network training and outreach. The structure of our network, I'm not quite sure what structure of your network, so it was reasonably simple. So we had at the start 9 special interest groups, and we had a steering committee, which is basically consists of me, Richard, network grant manager, and SIG leaders. We also had advisory board, which was chaired by Professor Mike Lowe from Imperial, and it had a few people from wide range of universities, including overseas, who are not necessarily experts in acoustics. And also we link quite well to professional bodies, and obviously EPSRC, which is we found very helpful. Network membership, originally we started with 12 people, but we are now over 1,000 members. It's an open network, it's not university based. Basically a network which allows individuals, organizations to join in, and they form the core membership. So per 30th of October, we had 1,126 members, but I think it's grown by 10 members. Also, 50% of our members not necessarily academics. So we also were lucky to have non-academic members, industry, government bodies, and legislative bodies, and so on, who care about research. So the network is not just for professional substitution for professional body. It's actually basically focused on research. And we grew from 9 special interest groups to 15 special interest groups. Our main resource is a website. I'll see if I can actually show you the website itself. It's a simple website. It looks like this. Can you see it, Patrick?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes when I change the face, actually, it's a very simple website, but actually it's a great resource because well visited. We've got about over 1,000 visits every month. We monitor this. It basically splits in special interest groups, which is, as I said, 15. Searchable directory for our members, which we found very useful, particularly for those who want to find what people do. EPSRC use it to nominate reviewers for grant proposals and so on. Resources pages, which is contains software, forms, meeting notes, minutes, and so on. News, we issue a newsletter every month, and some other news items, and we deposit it here. Events page, which is to do with our activities on daily basis, and job opportunities. Also, there is a contact page which actually allows people to send us a request. We run a separate email system which we can respond with a domain called acoustics.ac.uk. Okay, let me just go back. So we support this website, if not daily, but regularly enough. And you can see it also has a Twitter feed and also some highlights of what's going on the front page. The proud moments, what we achieved, we built a large research network which is open to wider community. It's not an inner circle. We also build close links with the UK and international professional body in Europe, Australia, United States, and so on. We also produced the so-called Value of Acoustics report, which we shared globally. And this report, in our view, was quite useful. EPSRC seemed to like it. Basically, it is quantified what is going on in terms of the economic impact of acoustics on the industry, society, and environment. We share this report not only inside the UK, but also overseas. And also we develop close links with EPSRC, which help us to secure follow-on funding for us. And also we supported EPSRC requests about statistics on different things which going on in acoustics. Also, what we're very proud of, we built a very strong early career group with a separate funding. And currently we got 310 members in this group, and they're very active. They run their own events, they run summer schools, and so on. In total, we organized or supported about 150 network events. And strangely enough, with the advent of COVID lockdown, so we found that webinars work amazingly well for the network, and they're very cheap to run. And finally, we secured £1.4 million for EPSRC UCAN Plus, which is not a continuation of the grant, but it's a new grant which builds on success of UCAN. And this grant allows us to fund pilot projects. And we're lucky to get support from industry in the form of £1.1 million of funding, quarter of which is in cash. Key elements of successful network, that's my and Richard's view, but we probably shared by a majority of our members. So it's important to find people who care and can commit enough time to support network. It's also important to be inclusive and communicate with your members, which we're trying to do via our events and the website and by mail and newsletters. Also, we found it's important to stop preaching to converted, because sometimes we just boil in our own sort of community, and we just talk to people who already know what we're doing. It's a good idea to break out and reach out and talk to people who are beyond your discipline. Break the silos and talk to some other networks. As I mentioned before, website is very important for us. It's basically the way we communicate with our members, and our members do visit this website. And also it's visited by a wider community overseas. By the way, we also have overseas members. Also, we found our advisory board is useful because they give us a check. So they tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and they're not afraid to tell us the truth, even though it may not be very pleasant. So basically we obtain independent feedback and we respond to that. Another thing as well, we found that it's important to monitor finance. When you got such a big membership, so money goes here and there, and then somebody need to keep very close eye on it. And we made a few mistakes, but we learned by these mistakes, and hopefully for the next round of funding, we wouldn't make these mistakes ever again. So what happens at the end? This is a good question, because EPSRC will fund probably expects you, and probably said something in proposal, expect you to become self-sufficient or partially self-sufficient, and that's hard. That's really hard. So, but I think you said in your presentation, Patrick, so building critical mass is important. In this case, it would be possible probably for you to apply for DFARM Plus or similar grant, which will be built on the success of your network. It's not guaranteed, it's highly competitive, but it's a possibility. But in this case, you need to get permission from EPSRC to apply for it. And in this sense, critical mass and good relations with the council are important. So also we found it's very important to make it attractive for industry to co-fund the remaining network core. So we were lucky to get support from industry, so which would allow us to run the very basic things like a website and basic events. Because the industry saw the value in doing so. Another thing as well, we found it's very important to negotiate a takeover at some stage with the right professional body. In our case, it was UK Institute of Acoustics. So a typical professional body in the UK probably has a membership of research active members, anything between 0 and 20%. So very few, with the rest are just engineers or scientists and all together working in industry. So our network has almost 100% membership who are research active or care about research. So for professional body, it's an interesting of direct interest to get these people to become members, because it would get the membership more balanced in terms of research active or not so research active. And in our case, Institute of Acoustics gave us a choice to bring our membership, and they would give them free membership for 2 years and support basics of our operations for the next 2 years at least. I think probably by and large I'm done. So if you have any questions to ask, I'm happy to answer them.